Hey guys, today I'm gonna talk about the perfect board game gifts you could give to anyone from a beginner level board gamer to advanced. All the games I'm gonna mention today are two-player games. Some of them you can play with more than two people, but they're perfect to play with a partner anytime. So I'm gonna start from the most basic, and when I say basic, it doesn't necessarily mean easy to win. It just means that it has the easiest rules to follow. All of these games are still so very exciting, but I'm gonna basically rank them from how easy it is to learn and start playing to how hard it is. The first one I want to share is actually the first board game that got me and my husband into playing two-player board games, Sequence. Sequence is a great game to play two people. You can also play three people, and I think you can play even more if you form groups. 2 to 12 players. Wow. We only played this, I think, 3 people at most, but it's a great two-player game. It's almost like a little bit of a chess. You kind of calculate each other's moves and just try to win. I think it's a great starter game, and if you're someone who loves board games and are looking to entice their partner, roommate, friend, anyone to get into board games, I suggest Sequence is the place to start. And they have like 5 million versions of this. Like, they have a cat sequence. Also, I just realized I was holding it the wrong way the whole time. I hope not the whole time, but here we go. Alright, so easiest to learn the rules, still super fun and competitive. Second one, AZUL. I love this game, and this was bought to us as a gift, I think, and it is 2 to 4 players, so it's great when like our siblings are visiting, but we play this often just as 2 people too. Again, it is similar to Sequence in the sense where you're learning rules, but there aren't too many, but after that, it's all about understanding each other's moves and making the right decisions to win. It's still a competitive game. It's really fun. And the one thing that I really love about this is that this is actually very like children friendly too. So the rules are simple, so you could just teach it to someone I think a lot younger than you, and you and other people on the table could still play very, very competitively and try to see what the other person is doing. But if you got a kid to play this with you, they still can. They just won't win, most likely. Now, with these, I'm actually starting to get into the territory of some world building and some more serious games. So this is one of my favorite world building games. It's Seven Wonders Duel. So Seven Wonders is another game. I never played that version, but the Duel is 2-person and it's really competitive, really fun. You're overall just trying to build the best society. This is a very competitive game. I really like it, especially if you're looking for something competitive. I suggest this. Honestly, you know what it reminds me of? Kind of Age of Empires. So it's that kind of world building game. But I really like it. I think especially you have competitive partners and you want to have some fun alone, you can definitely go for this. Fun fact, we definitely got into board games a lot more during pandemic. Sequence we had from a long time before, and we got AZUL I think before pandemic too. But everything else I'm showing you, including Duel, we kind of get into it more during pandemic, and because we're 2 people at home, so it was really fun to just dive into these new worlds and learn these new games. The next one I'm gonna show you, I'm actually not sure which one is harder to learn or easier, but I feel like the next 2 games are pretty similar in difficulty. Race for the Galaxy. I love Race for the Galaxy. It reminds me of Duel, but how I differentiate it a little bit is that with Duel, it's super competitive against the other person. You're constantly looking at their moves. With this game, it's a little bit more separated. The goal of this game is to build the most prosperous space empire, again, which is why it's kind of similar to Duel. But the only reason I think it's just a little bit more difficult to learn, some of the ways you're building your space empire is just a little bit more intangible. So it's just a little bit harder to guess and build the right things, you have to understand a little bit more how the cards interact. For example, in Duel, you could say like, oh, I need wood to build whatever resources, but with Race for the Galaxy, it's a little bit more like, I need this card so I can get this next card, and so you have to play it a couple times to learn how the cards interact and how you can continue building. I suggest this for people who love playing board games but who get a little too competitive, and I swear that's how we first got to it, because Duel got a little too heated and we're like, okay, we need a new game where we can both be still competitive but less in each other's faces. So you're kind of in your own zone building the world, but it's really fun. I really enjoyed. Also, the art of it all is like so nice. This next game is actually our newest game, and I just want to say, you saw how many big boxes we have here? This is our next game, Innovation. We love this game. This is so perfect because it's in the tiniest box. You know, you only have cards, nothing more, no pieces. But it's so fun. It may even be more easier than some of the other games here. Maybe I just feel like it's just a tiny bit harder because it's a newer game. So the first time we played it, it took me a little bit to understand, but I really, really like it. It actually has 3 specific rules. That's pretty much it. But what I think makes it a little difficult is to, again, understanding cards and watching the other player's hand often, because this one's also very competitive with the other person, and you can definitely, quote-unquote, attack each other. I really like this though. I think the premise of it is amazing, and it's actually currently my favorite game. I want to keep playing it. I think this and Duel might be my favorite ones. So yeah, this is a great 2-player game, and you can play up to 4 people. And the last game, but the heaviest game and the hardest to learn, is Spirit Island. We are struggling with this game. We played it with the easiest version and we lost once, and then we won once, and I don't think we have won since after we moved to a little bit less easy road. This is a heavy box. It has so many pieces, so many rules, so many different characters. It is definitely one of the hardest games I feel like I got to learn. I think this could be like a fun computer game. Honestly, it almost gets into that territory. So if you're a true board game geek, like, this is for you. The biggest reason we bought this is that we felt that with Duel, we were really competing against each other. Race for the Galaxy, we were still sort of competing, but what we wanted was also to have a game where we were not competing against each other, but we were on the same team to win. So this is the best game if you have 2 very competitive people playing it. It's amazing how you can just bond together and try to defeat it, and it's just like really fun. But super honest, it takes so long to play and just to set up the pieces and everything that we just don't play it that often. But if you want to spend more time just playing board games and really getting into it, and if this is a true hobby for you, I think Spirit Island should be in your collection. I know it's Christmas time, so you might be looking for a board game to buy a friend, someone in your family. So I hope this helps, and let me know what you think. Thank you.